very soon.
If you see it, say it.
Please welcome your host, everybody's fan favourite, Andy Dartsy. But to you, it's yours truly. It's Dartsman.
I got the secret, I got the key to another way. I got the secret, I got the key to another way. I got the secret, I got the key to another way.
Hello and welcome to another edition. What a horrible wet afternoon. But I've just finished cleaning my bathroom out and I've sprayed the whole bathroom out with bleach and let it do its work for 40 minutes or so and then wiping away, spraying again. So you might need to keep your windows open for quite a while if you do stuff like that due to the strong smell of the chemicals. So today's episode is about how I managed to escape a horrible situation dating a man who turned out to be a narcissist. So I told you last Christmas I was dating a guy from over the river. This whole story inspired me to speak out as well as help others. I was watching a video on YouTube presented by an American lady who goes under the name of Dr. Angel Storm, who is a highly excellent life coach and has strong knowledge of people, especially men who have signs of a narcissist personality disorder, which is obviously best known as NPD. So, how did my situation all begin? Well, I was having a nice cool beer last summer outside of Devante's in Time Out Station. Obviously the restaurant was shut and that was due to the coronavirus, but the tables were there for people to sit down. It was just nice to be in the shade of the sun and also nice to hear the quietness and see the metros pass by at Tynemouth. So I remember like having some pasta for lunch and I got like a friend request from the man in question, and obviously I didn't know him at first, but when I looked at the picture he was like a nice dressed, smart, gorgeous looking guy, so I accepted. We started chatting a bit, getting to know each other, and then he told me what he did for a living and how he's like, he drives, he has a car. And I said, that's great. So I told him I was self-employed and we clicked and just started to get to know each other. And obviously weeks down the line, he would send like loads of kisses and then we'd flirt with each other. And I recall one odd evening, he inboxed me to ask if I would like for him to come and visit me. And I said, sure. So I gave him my address, as he said, give us the address and then I'll come in the car. And then next morning I said, so what's happening today then? And then he messaged back saying, what do you mean? And I said, I was still on for today. And then he said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was drunk in the pub last night. So obviously I was quite upset, and then I wanted to know why he would message me like that. And obviously I tried to keep me cool as best as I can, but it's difficult when you feel so like upset and hurt. So I ended up having to go at him and I said, why would you message us like that? And then he messaged back after he decided to block us, but like 5-10 minutes later he said, please, I'm sorry, I was extremely drunk last night, let me make it up to you. So I made him work hard to earn my respect back. So eventually I discovered my heart was telling me to just forgive him, let him off and move on. Little mistake there, but everything resumed as normal and it was coming up to Christmas. He said, how about I buy you an Indian's? And I was like, I was gobsmacked. So he said, send me a link to the Indian's place where you get your food from and I'll buy you a meal. So I gave in and I said, oh, I have this, have that. 9 o'clock, the Indians arrived. It was like a dream come true. So I thought, oh, he loves and cares about us so much. And then I eventually met the narcissist a few weeks later where he lived. as I got the train down from Newcastle. He said he was off that day, and even though there was not a lot to do during the lockdown, or the tears I should say, I thought a drive's better than nothing. And I said, I'm glad it's finally happening. So I reached Central Station from the metro, found the platform for the train that I needed to get to Teesside to meet the man in question. He messaged me back and said he had just spoken to his mum and he had to go for a COVID test, and I thought, this better not be a joke. And then I decided to confront the situation, and then I said, well, you know, I don't believe you. I think you're pulling out because you're nervous to meet me. And then he went, well, yeah, maybe I am a bit nervous, I'm sorry. I said, if I get on the train and you don't show, I won't be very happy. But an hour later, I reached the destination to meet the guy, and a lovely, clean, dark car pulled up. And it was him inside it, and I got in the front seat. And he said hi with a surprised look on his face. And then he says, how did you know it was me in the car? And I said, well, I recognised your face and the registration of your car because you sent us a picture. So he bought us a coffee, and even though nothing was, like, you know, open around the area, he took me on a nice little tour around the place where he lived, where he went to school, and where he worked, and where he likes to do his hobbies. And he even showed me where a local TV documentary was filmed, so that was quite nice. He seemed pleasant, and then I noticed he was not smiling much. And he kept worrying about the time to get back home as he had other things on, which tells me he's obviously not a very good organiser. So he dropped me off about an hour and 15 minutes later, back to the train station where I got the train back into Newcastle. Christmas passed, and then obviously New Year's Eve passed, taking us into this year, 2021. I was at work when I got a text, and he said, can we just be friends? And he tried this thing before, and I was like, oh. And he says, well, yeah. And I says, but I thought we were getting on great. And I thought, this isn't right. There's something going on. And I was heartbroken. And then he messaged me a week later. Just thought I'd let you know, and giving you the heads up. I'm speaking to someone else, and it was a woman. And obviously I knew he was bisexual, and I was fine with that. And he told me the day we stopped dating, that he was seeing her for a week. So he was seeing her at the same time he was seeing me. So he dropped himself right in it. So he sent us a photograph of her. And then I looked the woman up and I thought, right, this is time for payback for the hurt. But I'm not a believer in revenge, but I decided to find this woman on his profile. Eventually I matched a description, and then I messaged her to say, oh, hello, I'm really sorry to have to tell you this. I've got some bad news for you. So I sent her screenshots of the messages he sent me to confirm my story. She was shocked as well, and then she said, well, how did you know I was dating him? And I said, he sent me a photograph of you, and then we spoke, and she was so confused about, you know, and I said, like, is he gay, is he straight, or is he bi? I had said, I had to tell you because you only used me for companionship. So we made the nervous decision to confront the matter with the narcissist in a three-way convo on Messenger, and obviously he immediately ran offline because he got found out. A day later he messaged me and gave me a whole load of abuse, and he said, well, thanks a fucking bunch. I says, well, now you know how it feels to hurt people. And he went, which woman did you talk to? I says, the woman in question, the actual name. And I said, thanks to the photograph he sent us. So I says, I sent her everything. And then I knew the reason he gave me abuse was because she had told him that she just wanted to remain friends. After I told him I sent her like everything, he was like, just wait, I'm going to fucking get you. And I says, I'm really scared. So after that he blocked me for a bit. And then after I confided in my friend Michelle, and obviously we did definitely, like, you know, notice some behaviours around the subject of narcissist personality disorder. So that was the real reason as well. I had a horrible breakdown because of the stress, and I realised he was trying to bring me down. So I had contacted my crisis team, my doctor, and of course Polly Brennan for further support in and out of work. Have I heard anything from the narcissist? Well, currently sort of speaking, but obviously I just pray to God he doesn't see this video, but I'm doing it because I want to help others. I am in sort of contact, but I'm putting boundaries in place. One thing that he asked me recently was, would I ever let him add some of my friends? And I says, well, no, not really, because because I would rather you'd get to know them face to face first. And that's a sign that suggests to me that he's trying to cause more trouble by attempting to turn my friends against me, this, that and the other. So I subscribe to Dr. Angel Storm from Ashes to Beauty Foundation, and I want to say a huge thank you, Angel. Your videos inspired me to come forward as well. So what I've learned, narcissistic personality disorder is one of several types of personality disorders, and it's a mental condition in which people have their own inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excess attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. But behind this mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. Narcissist personality disorders causes problems in many areas of life, such as relationships, possibly work, school, or financial affairs. People with narcissistic personality disorder may be generally unhappy and disappointed when they're not given the special favours or admiration they believe they deserve. They may find their relationships unfulfilling, and others may not enjoy being around them. And obviously complications, a bit slow this order queue, or complications of narcissist personality disorder and other conditions that can occur with it can include, as I mentioned, relationships, difficulties, problems at work or school, depression and anxiety, obviously physical health problems, drug or alcohol misuse, and especially suicidal thoughts or behaviour prevention. Because the cause of narcissistic personality disorder is unknown, there's no way to prevent the condition. However, it may help for them to get treatment as soon as possible for mental health problems, participate in potential therapy or family therapy to learn healthy ways to communicate or to cope with conflicts or emotional distress, attend parenting classes if you're a parent, and seek guidance from therapists or social workers if needed. So, the points of traits inside a narcissistic person: lack of empathy, the inability to identify or recognise the experiences and feelings of other people. Everything is about them and belongs to them. They smoothly overstep the personal boundaries of others, mistreating, devaluing and humiliating to bend others to their desires. Being manipulative, as they are masters at getting what they want, and because they have no empathy, they may not care what it costs to someone else. They deviously use manipulation as a tool to get their most essential needs met, which are typically attention, validation and status. Protection, which is number 3. Protection, it's a clear-cut sign you're dating a narcissist, and that is the bloody hell. Psychological trick known as protection. A narcissist will accuse someone of doing what they are doing, or will call out their flaws and fears in someone else. More often than not, the person who is cheating accuses his or her partner of cheating their deficits. The 4th trait as well is being emotionally cold. And obviously narcissists are continually shallow with their emotions, meaning that they don't do well with emotions. Somebody had said to be with an emotionally cold partner often means not being comforted, sometimes during the most difficult days in our lives. And then they further explain about the emotionally cold or distant trait rears its head during arguments when one person is experiencing and expressing significant emotion and the narcissist person just checks out and does not respond, or in a cold manner. The emotional coldness can be confusing for you as well and may result in attempts to jump through hoops to generate warmth and connect with your partner. And another common trait, which is number 5, gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse that involves denying a person's experience and making statements such as that never happened, or oh you're too sensitive. Number 6 as well, they never take responsibility. And obviously being in a relationship is a partnership. There should be give and take in every aspect. Most of this means accepting when you are wrong and taking things as they come. 2 things narcissists generally struggle with Somebody said they are master deflectors and try to avoid the blame with lying, cheating and everything in between. They'll make up complex excuses and rationalise anything. And they also say when someone never takes responsibility for anything, for words, actions, feelings, it is challenging, if not an impossible way to maintain a relationship. Even preschool-aged children are asked to take responsibility for a broken crayon or toys that's left out. It's not too much to ask for a person to take some ownership. Since they are unable to distinguish the boundary between responsibility and blame, narcissists attempt to avoid both. Genuine acceptance of responsibility is very unlikely to be issued by a narcissist, and you can wear yourself out by waiting for it. Another thing I picked up as well, number 7, controlling. The term control freak gets thrown around a lot, but it's a key narcissistic trait. What makes the situation even more frustrating is that often the narcissist is controlling, like you, and remaining completely disinterested in the other aspects of your life. So they tend to cut you off quite often. Grandiosity is a pattern in which a person tends to exaggerate accomplishments, talents, connections and experiences. They do not have to be real experiences, and grandiose people tend to maintain over-the-top fantasy worlds. And of course the final trait, infidelity, is what I've explained before. Their need for admiration and novelty is so vast that they are wired to be unfaithful affairs, and they are typically characterised by excitement, flattery and superficial grandiosity. The expert also says they may keep a steady relationship with you and cultivate other needs outside the relationship. So please, I urge you, in any situation with a narcissist, please be careful. The most best way to disconnect from a narcissist is no contact, block them, move forward. And if you feel you need to check in with them, make sure you set boundaries. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Danny DeLongo will be here on the next episode, so I hope you're in for a little treat and we'll see what he's got lined up. So join him then. But from me, Dartsman, I'll see you all soon. Until the next time, goodbye.